Alright, I wanted to talk about religion and the things that are wrong with it. Mainly, well, I was watching videos about things, like things about God and all that crap. But people have to keep in mind and remember when you can't argue your beliefs. You can't tell people, and I can't argue against your beliefs. I don't intend to in a way that unless I can disprove them, but you can't argue beliefs. So I don't understand. And people have to keep in mind that religion is a faith. It works off of a faith and belief system. It is not a true. Nothing about it is true. I mean, you can look at historical facts, but you can't argue it. It's not an argument. That's a fact. You have to keep in mind that all the religious things are just faith and beliefs. You can't force that upon anyone, and stop saying that that's what's true. And also, you can't say what God wants because you haven't talked to God. You can't say that God is an infinite being, right? He's everywhere. He exists in everything, which means he also exists in nothing, which means he doesn't exist at all. God doesn't exist out of existence because then he doesn't exist. You can't say God is outside of our existence because then God is in non-existence and he's not existing. And you can't give him any qualities. He's not a person. He can't be a being. You can't give an infinite being a finite quality. It just doesn't work. You can't call him Bob. You can't call him God. You can't call him a being. You can't call him a deity. It doesn't work. Because as soon as you do, you're giving this infinite being a finite quality. And that doesn't work. You can't just people who are saying that God is infinite, he cannot be. You cannot say God is infinite because that is in itself giving him a finite quality, which is like hypocritical. That doesn't work. You can't call him Bob, who's 5 foot tall. He has a beard. It's nonsense. And stop saying what you believe is a true thing. Like it's so pointless. What are you trying to prove anyway? You waste your whole life arguing over what's true and what's not. You can't tell me your belief is true because I tell you I believe every night when you close your eyes the world turns purple. Because every time I close my eyes I don't know that it's purple, and I believe that. You can't tell me that that's wrong because it's a belief. So I'm not going to argue what you believe is wrong unless you believe that I don't exist, because I exist. I can show you that. I come up to you and I smack you, you know I exist. It's not in depth of what I really wanted to talk about, of why religion is really wrong, but there's just some things that piss me off. That your belief in your faith, which is like the definition of what a religion should be, is trying to argue it now against you're trying to argue it against science, and it's not an argument, it's a belief. Do you forget that? Do you forget that every 5 seconds that it's not a fact system? It's not like math. You're not gonna disprove math. Maybe you can. That's not the point. The point is 1 plus 1 will always equal 2, the way we have it on our Earth. You won't disprove that. I mean, 1 plus 1 can equal 3. Yes, it could. That's not the point. The point is it's there and it works for what we need. So saying your beliefs are true is hypocritical in itself, because you can't say that they are. You cannot say that they are true. It is not. That is not the way a belief works. So, I was watching videos of fully grown men who believe in a guy that created everything. He can't be a guy. You can't. It just disproves your religion, especially Christianity. That just disproves religion. And don't say it's not hurting people, because look at war. I don't know, just war and stuff. The Twin Towers and differences, and it causes minor things throughout life anyway. You're not just stop saying what you believe is true. It's not true, and you got to remember that religion is a faith. It's not It's a belief system. It's not a truth system. If you're looking for truth, go on a soul searching mission. Whatever. I don't believe in that stuff. I don't believe in beliefs. Which is, we don't need to focus on that. Focus on what you are and what you can, instead of focusing on what some higher power, we're assuming there's a higher power. I'm not trying to assume there's a higher power, but assuming there was, for argument's sake. Not trying to focus on even the idea of such a thing. Just, I'd rather, instead of wasting my time in church every Sunday, I could go out and help my community. I mean, people are gonna say to me, well, they are helping by going to church and stuff. But is everyone? No, they're not. Just some people just go there and get forgiven for whatever the hell they did and move on. I don't know. It's like 6 minutes long. I gotta go to bed. Well, that's not even everything I wanted to say. I'm making another video. If you have anything to say, just tell me. I'll read all the comments. Got plenty of time. Alright, bye.